After last night, Stephen A., does LeBron's name need to be in consideration for MVP?
LeBron's name was always in consideration. It's just that it was at the top. It wasn't at the top of the list. He's not winning the MVP award this year. And it's not because of his individual greatness is lacking or anything like that, because we've seen how great he's been, Will, as an individual. But the point is, the Cleveland Cavaliers have gone through a roller coaster ride, and there is some culpability that falls on his shoulders. When you couple that, or juxtapose that rather, to the season that James Harden has had in Houston, how Herculean he has been, what a model of consistency he and the Houston Rockets have been. That usually gets thrown into the equation when you're taking league MVP honors into consideration as well. And that's what I think you have to pay attention to in this particular scenario. Every single situation that you can point to that has had something to do with the roller coaster ride that the Cleveland Cavaliers have been on this year has something to do with LeBron James. Not necessarily from a fault perspective, but he's involved. Kyrie Irving being gone, Isaiah Thomas ultimately being traded, the distraction that they tried to portray Isaiah Thomas as being when Isaiah Thomas was in Cleveland, et cetera, et cetera. You take all of those things into consideration. You remember when Kevin Love skipped out and he was gone for a little while, and Isaiah Thomas made us think about that, followed by Dwayne Wade when he was there, making us think about that. All of this stuff, when they talked about the relationship between Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, and how it was so much elevated above the relationship that he had with everybody else that it affected the team in a negative way. The point is, all of that gets attached to the leader. So as an individual player, in terms of his on-court greatness, there is no doubting, no questioning the surreal play of LeBron James and how it compares to anybody. But you have to take all of those other things into consideration. You don't get to ignore it. That did not happen in Houston, along with the model of consistency that James Harden has been. As far as I'm concerned, James Harden is head and shoulders above anybody for league MVP honors this year, including LeBron.
Max? No, in fact, LeBron James is more deserving of the MVP this year than James Harden, maybe even than Anthony Davis.
That's
and
ridiculous.
I am guilty, as you are, Stephen A., as we all are, of being bored of just saying LeBron James is the MVP. So we play with the definition of MVP. Value and best is not the same thing, as I have to say this every time. Insofar as synonyms exist, in other words, one word can mean what another word means exactly, value and best is the same thing. They are synonyms. Everyone get it through your heads. MVP means best player. It's the same thing. It's completely synonymous. Now, LeBron James is better than James Harden. This year, he's better than James Harden. If you swap them on each other's teams, you put LeBron James on the Rockets. Rockets just got better. Cavs just got worse. Cavs are worse with Harden than LeBron. Rockets are better with LeBron than Harden. Even the statistics, see those counting numbers? The counting numbers are close. And James Harden plays in a Mike D'Antoni system. Put LeBron James in that system. Please. What you're doing, Stephen A., is you are taking LeBron James, the GM, because he's kind of the GM. You're taking LeBron James, the coach, because he's kind of the coach, and LeBron James, the player, lumping that all together. Well, the reason he's in this predicament is because Kyrie's not there. Whose fault is that? You're right, LeBron James. That's LeBron James, GM coach doing that. But you can't attribute that to LeBron James, the player, if you just leave everything else alone and look at the way they play. Take last night, for example. LeBron James is clearly and by far the best point guard in basketball. Matter of fact, it's really between LeBron and Magic Johnson, greatest point guard of all time, because they're point forward or whatever you want to call it. He runs the offense. He's the primary ball handler. He had 17 assists with no turnovers. His passing, everyone's talking about it, is the best it's been in his career, right there with the greatest of all time. Who's the greatest passer of all time? This year's LeBron James is in the conversation with Magic or anybody. So we get bored. We get just like Michael Jordan. Charles Barkley has one of his MVPs. Karl Malone has one of his MVPs. All right, so KD, here's Steph. James Harden, you come in second twice. You deserve it. Here, James Harden. Of course LeBron James deserves to be in the mix, and in fact, probably on top.